Hi, everyone. Diana Rankin here, and a happy new year to you. And Piper's back here. Sometimes her bed is too hot, so she likes the floor sometimes. And Lily's in the other room. Who knows? You might hear her speaking before the day's over, or before our video's over. You will hear her speaking before the day's over. That's a promise. It's always good to be with you. And if you haven't already, please take a look at the video that I made yesterday, which are January's predictions, but it also speaks about the year. And Philip, my spirit guide, gives us some homework. And it was pretty exciting yesterday. I had people from the Netherlands, Montreal, Canada, and of course, we had our friend from down under. I'm not sure if she's in New Zealand, New Wales, Australia. I'm not real sure where. She'll have to tell us, and maybe she'll come live, which she often does. It was pretty exciting, I'm telling you. But we also got homework, so be sure and take a look at that video. If you've read what I wrote in the chat, you'll see that this particular video was planned for last week. My internet went down, and so I thought, oh, well, I'll just come up with something else. I'll use one of the other questions for this week. But I thought, this is kind of important information that many people may be interested in. So this was due last week, but here it is this week. I'm sorry, my microphone was hidden back here, so I hope you could hear everything I just said. If not, um, what I haven't said and need to say is if you have questions, please put them in the comments below, or you can email them to me. Your personal questions, I do ask you to set up a private session. Just go ahead if you want a private session and give me a phone call. My number's on my website, which is below. You can just click, or it's just my name, www.dianarankin.com. Okay, let's go ahead, and I want to read to you what Phillip said when we asked the question, why is December such a sacred month with so many holidays? And it was interesting because part of this question I did answer in my newsletter. My newsletter, by the way, is free. Just sign up for it, and it comes out every early morning Eastern time on Friday. It comes out at 4:25 on Eastern time. So here we go. This is different information than that was, but it's the same type of topic is what I'm trying to say. And of course, we will get a message from this book, one of my books. It's the Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. And as you know, it's a message of wisdom on each page. And so we'll get to that as well. Here we go. Americans and America are infants in the Earth's history. There are those in America who do not know of life beyond modern times. Both statements are true of other countries, of course, but we point out America as an example. By America, perhaps we should say the United States. We mention this only because with so many people in today's world, there is a lack of study and self-thought. There is too often an acceptance of a belief as told by another who has not properly researched but merely accepted what they were told. This has spread and intensified throughout the ages. We must point out that this is not new behavior. It is easier to believe what one is taught than to question and study and find one's own truth. As time goes by, truth is bent and distorted to fit the needs of those who claim leadership over others. This said, as we continue, you will come to understand why we felt it is important to impart this information as we began. So Phillip is telling us the information he just gave us is important before he actually gives us the answer to the question. And I want to also say what he's saying here in some ways goes along with what's coming up or what came up for the January predictions for January 2023. But also what was interesting in that He gave us homework for January 2023, but also he did talk about the year a little bit. And I don't do a full year's predictions. No reason. There's only so much I can do. And I am going to start in this coming year in 2023. I'm going to change the policy a little bit. The second to the last Friday, I'm going to do my best to do the predictions on that Friday for the next month, and then return to, and sometimes that'd be the third and other times the fourth Friday of the month, and then return to your questions. So again, just put your questions in the comments below. So Phillip goes on to say, before recorded history, humans created gods and goddesses. These were created to foster both fear and love. They help to explain behaviors of animals and other creatures, as well as humans, and also the creation of gods and goddesses brought forth explanations of nature. It was at the solstice, both December and in the spring, that humans noticed the changes in the sun's setting and the moon's rising. From these subtle changes in nature came the beginnings of what today is known as organized religions. The best known mythologies or stories of the gods and heroes in the Western world are those from the ancient Greeks and Romans. However, these are not the only historically correct stories of gods, goddesses, and heroes. Every culture today has a history, and those histories tell of the great ones who were believed to be the gods, goddesses, heroes, rulers, and those who were both human and God, born of a father god and human mother. Several of these gods were born on December 25th, which is in modern day is known as which in modern day is known as Christmas, and the birthday of the Christians' human God, Jesus. So it is and by human God, Phillip is again referring back to not saying that Jesus is considered a God, but was born of a God and human woman. So that's what he's calling the human God. Not that Jesus, I don't want all the Christians to correct me that Jesus is not considered a God. No, he's considered a holy man. But in Phillip's definition, born of a God and a human woman. Okay, we go on. So it is to the ancient ones we look to give thanks for the sacredness of this month, which has been brought forth into modern times. Within all cultures in modern times, today's celebrations and worships are based on times before. This is recognized by many, but not by all. And here's what I think is really good for all of us to hear. Although we say the celebrations based on truth are stronger than those based on someone else's truth, it is the celebration that brings forth the joy, which brings into being the sacredness of this month called December. I'll reread that as I always do those last paragraphs. So here we go. Although we say the celebrations based on truth are stronger than those based on someone else's truth, it is the celebration that brings forth the joy, which brings into being the sacredness of this month called December. There we are. Well, hello. I want to say Louisa. I'm not sure how to say your name. Forgive me. She says hello, everyone, and gives us an angel. So good to see you live. It's always good to see friends live and get to know you. Okay, here we go. We're going to just open to any page, and I'm hearing right. If you heard right, that's our message for everyone, and our intuition's in sync. But I also read left. So if you heard left, that's a message you need to pay attention to. Here's the right side. If you set will against will, you will have a standoff. But if you set soul against soul, you may reach understanding. If you set will against will, you have a standoff. But if you set soul against soul, you may reach understanding. And what does this have to do with our message? Our message is really quite simple. Whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate, as long as you celebrate with love and joy, because it's the celebration that brings forth the joy, which brings into being the sacredness of this month called December. So whether we celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever we believe in, whatever religion or God or goddesses, whatever joy we bring to the world, that, my friend, is the celebration. By the way, that's page 345. Now, if you heard left, it is "You are your only judge." You are your only judge on page 344. So, my friends, stop judging yourselves. You're worth more than that. Well, I am so glad you joined us today, those of you who were able to come live. For the rest of you, thank you for joining us non-live, but here we are. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. You are the ones that keep me doing this, so thank you. Thank you for the love that you send to us. Thank you for the love that you receive from us as we send it out. Let us heal our world. The January predictions give us a way to help do that. There's really been a shift, and we're going to see that in this new year. Is it going to be easy? Not necessarily, but that's okay. Mike says, big changes this coming year. Absolutely, Mike, and it was good to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to make it. Yes, this new year, big changes, starting within just a few days. All right, my friends, keep sending that love out to the world. Stop judging yourselves, and remember, stop judging yourself, stop judging others. Let's love each other. That doesn't mean the absence of boundaries. We have to have human boundaries, but we can still love. Until next Friday, thank you. Good to see the two of you. Good to see all of you. I love you. Hyper, who's sound asleep, loves you. From us to you, Happy New Year.